Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on February 14th, Valentine's Day 2020.
Remember, you can catch our famous Friday news show each and every Friday morning.
We read all the news.
So you don't have to.
First up, some housekeeping. Are we still doing Byte?
I hope not.
Okay, the last few weeks we're over on Byte doing a couple of battens on the news in 6 seconds or not. So this will be the last week. How about that?
A Valentine's Day farewell.
Unless we get 15 Byte likes.
I like how we're all wearing black on Valentine's Day.
Well, it should match
It's
our
our
hearts.
spirit though, Shep. Exactly. All right. And one other reminder, we are no longer on our Cypress North YouTube channel. Head on over to Search Engine Journal's YouTube channel. You can find us right there, our playlist. Subscribe to Search Engine Journal. There's lots of great video coming soon, so make sure to do that. What's going on with y'all this week?
Nothing. I was trying to spray paint some furniture in my spare bedroom last night, so I'm feeling a little lightheaded.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, I thought the window was open, but the window opened like on both sides. So.
It's Buffalo and it's February. It's pretty easy to tell if the window's open.
Well, I couldn't tell.
Point.
I think the chemicals went to my head and the furniture looks terrible.
Oh, what color?
White.
What kind of furniture?
Wicker?
Bedroom.
Something wicker?
No, it's like wood
White wicker.
bedroom furniture, and it's just not going well.
I picture you having some like exquisite wicker, like rocking chairs out in front of your house.
Nope. I just gone back to the store 4 times for more paint, and some tears have been shed, but it's okay.
All right.
What's going on with you guys?
I've been playing Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo lately.
Of course,
That's actually true. You think I just talk about the 90s like it's fake, but that really happened in my life this week.
All right, Jess, who's sponsoring the show this week?
This week's episode of Marketing O'Clock is brought to you by Ahrefs. Whether you work for a big brand, run your own small business, or do freelance work, getting traffic to your website is always an issue. Ahrefs is an all-in-one SEO toolset that solves that problem. It gives you the tools you need to rank your website in Google and get tons of search traffic. If you want to learn more, check out their blog or YouTube channel for step-by-step SEO tutorials.
And they have a 7-day trial for only $7. Even somebody high on fumes would think that's a great deal. So head on over to Ahrefs to sign up. That is ahrefs.com to sign up. 7 days, only $7.
And today's show is also sponsored by Optio. Optio helps Google Ads managers automate time-consuming manual tasks so they can spend more time on high-level strategy and creative work. Optimize accounts, monitor performance, track budgets, and get alerts when important changes happen.
And right now, listeners of Marketing O'Clock can get a 6-week free trial of Optio. Go to optio.com/SEJ. That's OPTEO.com/SEJ to get started. The only way to get that 6 free weeks is with that link. So optio.com/SEJ. You will love it. Thank you to our sponsors this week. And we'll dive into a few features a little bit later in the show. But first up, Shep, what's going on in the digital marketing news this week?
So most of us celebrate our partners on Valentine's Day, but Google Ads is punishing theirs. They are updating their partner program requirements, and there are some new things that folks will have to do if they want to maintain their badges. So they sent out a chart comparing current requirements to the ones coming by June 2020. So I'll go through some of these. So for performance, currently, it is based on revenue growth and retention of your company's clients and your company's growth overall revenue. That sounds nice. Now, the new performance requirements are, quote, based on the account optimization score found in recommendations. And they have a little note here in case you already thought of it from listening to our show last week.
Shout out Andrea Cruz.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrea. Dismissing recommendations will not count towards your account optimization requirement.
Womp, womp.
I've read this a few times and I don't see the actual score that's required. It just says it's based on your score. So thank you for that, Google. Okay. The next one is spend. You used to have to spend at least $10,000 and it's evaluated based on the total ad spend during the last 90 days. They have upped that, doubled it. Now you have to spend $20,000 in the last 90 days, partners.
Well, I mean, that could be easy based on the previous thing we just talked about.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Just saying.
And the final one on here is certification. So you used to need 6 users with legacy or updated certifications. And at least
you needed a certain number based off of how many account admins you had.
Okay.
So, yeah, you need to have a certain amount of those.
Well, now your company needs to have at least 50% of users with updated Google Ads certifications in search, display, video, and shopping. Our team has none of these right now. Not one person has
It's because it's Skillshop. It's
Yeah, they
something
just
new.
changed it.
Yeah.
So this is just crazy. And they also said this is happening by the end of June, but they don't say a specific date. And
they
it's
said it
kind of
could be
important.
sooner.
Yeah, it said or sooner.
Yeah.
Another thing is when this came out, there were some errors, in my opinion, with the certification number required. For a few folks, it seemed like every single person that could touch an account had to be part of that. And it actually seemed like a few different Gmail accounts, anything associated with that in the domain or just in general counted. So some people said, we don't even have this many people at the agency. So some people thought clients were pulling in. It was a garbage release, to be quite honest with you. But I think they're going to fix that and say it's the number of admins. You should be able to go in there and it should be that specific percentage of your admins, although there were some bugs from what it seemed like on the rollout.
Well, what about the recommendations? Because they're not all good. They're usually making people spend more money and they're not really thinking about the advertisers' goals. And I hate them. And I cannot believe that they put in that little thing about dismissing recommendations. It's like they listen to our show. It's
Yeah.
like the principal, like setting up rules for a school. This is craziness.
Like the
to me.
2-finger rule. If you're wearing a tank top, your strap has to be at least 2 fingers.
And don't try to, get skinny fingers. They're based off of the teachers. That would be that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's all subjective.
How do you feel about it, Greg?
I'm fired up and I'm also super sad. This invokes two main emotions from me where if you're not a paid person, this is still very, very interesting. And this is a huge, huge departure from the "don't be evil" slogan that Google once had. Optimization scores in your Google Ads account aren't very good. Sometimes you could learn something, but most times it is automated machine learning AI that will not help your client. Thankfully, you can just ignore them like we do, or you could be like Andrea out there and say, I'm going to dismiss these recommendations. A couple of examples of what the recommendations might be. Hey, you should spend more. That is a recommendation that you have in your accounts right now, is to say you should spend more so that you can get more traffic. I understand that, but if my client only has $15,000 a month and LinkedIn is performing better, I am not going to spend more on Google Ads, and I'm going to dismiss the notification, or I'm not going to pay attention to it.
Then you can't be a partner.
This is where the problem comes in. Price extensions. I have clients that are given price extensions, not eligible for price extensions. It's saying the recommendation, give them price extensions. I can't make a price. They don't have a price. I cannot do this. It's a problem. There are people saying adjust the CPA up. That is a recommendation in the account. Adjust the CPA up.
Are you kidding?
I don't want to adjust the CPA up because my client needs leads at this amount because they convert at amount X and then the overall sales are amount Y. I need this at this CPA. I'm not adjusting it up. I will be doing my client a disservice if I adjust this up. Call extensions on off-hour campaigns is a recommendation in an account we have.
That is not good.
I can't do this and sleep at night. I can't do this to my clients by implementing these recommendations. And the fact that they're saying to their partners that you need to implement our recommendations up to a certain level in order to be a partner is shameful. It is shameful. It is criminal. It is, I don't even have words. This is so, it's insane. It is insane that you're going to tell people to do these things, not based off of performance for your client. You're not going to go pull clients and say, hey, how are these partners doing? You're not going to look at, the overall conversion numbers are doing good. You're going to tell me I have to put call extensions in on my off hours accounts. It's criminal. There's no other word than criminal. And you see things like these antitrust investigations coming in. And this is why you're telling people I am going to elevate your status by giving you partner status. And then I am going to tell you, you want to keep this little badge? You have to do what I say to your clients, whether they like it or not. I don't care if they only have $10,000 of budget. You got to do this recommendations or you're out of here. It's incredible. It's incredible. It is so misguided, and you can just tell how far up their bottoms these people at Google are that are doing this. There's no way that this should ever have seen the light of day.
It's like a dystopian novel, kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely getting there. I mean, we used to have the partners badge like a badge of honor. Like, look at us. We know what it is. Doing.
It's a scarlet letter now. That's what it is.
Nice.
It is not a bit. Honestly, if you have to think about it, it is your money. Your family is on the line. They're being held hostage. And you have to go hire somebody under this circumstances, somebody that's a Google partner, that is a partner doing all the recommendations Google is telling you to do, or somebody that's not a Google partner. Who would you pick?
The Google partner.
Well, then your family's probably dead.
Well, if you don't know.
No, I'm saying before if you didn't know.
Yeah, before.
Yeah.
But let's say that you know this now.
Yeah, now I would not.
Why would you pick a Google partner that's going to...
They're just going to throw your money away.
It's going to do smart campaigns for you.
But we also have to now educate clients on this change and explain the difference to them, because to Shep's point, people that don't know, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, oh, Google partner, absolutely, I want them. And we're going to have to explain why you don't and why that's a problem now. And I feel like that's extra level difficulty.
It's such a bad idea. Mm-hmm. It's such a bad idea because if this goes through as it's planning to do in June 2020
or before,
it will force advertisers into what Google wants, not what their clients need. And that's not helping. We need more support. We need more tools. We don't need you to force us to do your bidding, to do your sales for you, and then dock us if we don't. There's a term in the financial industry called a fiduciary. And what that means is you are going to take your client's best interest at hand, and you're not going to put people into super front-loaded mutual funds that just are never going to serve them well, or put them in whole life insurance or whatever it might be, but you're going to take their best intent. If you are a Google partner and you are doing all these recommendations, you will not be a fiduciary. And we need something better. I look at this, I'd see an account. If this goes through and people are adhering to this, a Google partner will be a negative. It's a negative. I look at you're a Google partner, get lost.
But only people in the industry will know that.
I know, but we need to do something better. So I have an idea. What we need to do is to make a new certification. And I swear to God, I will do this right now. Not right now. We just need to program it probably. We should make something that is like a fiduciary for ads, for advertisers. So you're saying, I understand you could be Google partners. If you're Google partners, you have to do all Google's bidding for them. What we need is an adduciary.
So would it be more of like those conscious-based questions that some people have to take before they get a job?
No, we need somebody to say that, yeah, we're going to put our advertisers' best interest at hand. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sign this, and we're going to give you a badge. And I'm not going to do everything Google partners tell me, and I'm okay losing that because this badge is more important. That's what we need. We need something.
You just got to come up with a name. We're ready.
A name.
Okay.
I think we call it the Forever United, giving our outstanding, great, loyal, exceptional advertisers dispassionate strategy.
I don't think it was an acronym.
I think it was. I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I think it's something to do with swear word Google Ads.
I was just rolling off my tongue. I don't know what it is. But no, we need a name. We need something that would say, if this actually goes through, and in order to be a Google partner, you have to be a shill for Google Ads, and you're a shill, and that badge is a sign of being a shill. There should be an ad badge for somebody that cares about their clients. Why can't we do that? And we'll do it. I know that there's the Paid Search Association now that's out there. Haven't seen a tweet from them yet, but we can do it. We will do it. We'll get a group of people up, get some pitchforks.
Yeah, I was just going to say
some torches, and we'll make a badge that says, hey, you might not be a Google partner, but you care more about your clients than anybody with that badge on there now. I haven't, it's all I slept. I was just laying in bed. Why are you making this change? I can't fathom why Google would make the change. To think who there could think this is a good idea, that you would force people to do your bidding for them.
Just them. Of
It
course,
is
going to make them more money.
It is. Every now and then I think I'm living in a simulation that things are so crazy. And then I see this and I'm like, this is crazy. This is beyond. You go from don't be evil to if you want this badge, you have to do every single thing. You have to lick my boots to get this badge. It's crazy.
I want to know what the score is that we need. They don't even tell us.
I don't want to know the score, and we're going to make our own badge.
Okay.
If we get enough support around it, we'll make a badge. It'll be open source. We'll grab the $100 or whatever is now for the .orgs because they're not really .org. We'll get a .org, and we'll get a bunch of people behind it. It'll be completely free. We'll program everything. We'll have a badge saying I am an adduciary or whatever name it is.
Ooh. I like
Or,
that.
you know, if anybody really liked the Forever United, giving our outstanding, great, loyal, exceptional
I just understood it.
advertisers dispassionate
Because I was waiting for the K, but it's just, okay.
It's just,
No, it's just,
Okay, got
it's
it.
just Forever United. All right. What else is up, Jess?
let's talk about not Google for a second.
Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll get back to them in a
Yeah.
minute. But for now, let's talk about Pinterest. People be using it. According to Social Media Today, the platform reached 335 million active users in 2019, which is a lot. It's a lot of people. Advertiser growth on the platform is also booming. The number of active advertisers doubled in 2019.
That's
year
a
over year.
lot.
I've got an idea if they actually want to drive more revenue.
Go for it.
What if they had a partners program? And you think about it, and you make a partners program. You tell anybody that needs a partner, just do whatever I say. Spend more.
I feel like if Pinterest, and maybe I'm giving them more credit than they're due, but if they had such a thing, they would make like nice recommendations. They'd
I'm
be like,
just-
you should
I'm
put
just
this
heated
cute
from the
pillow in
last-
your
I'm
house
just
and you'll get a
heated. I'm
badge.
just
Or
joking.
Baby Yoda.
Or a baby Yoda. I mean, everybody loves Pinterest. Anyway, so there's a bunch of stats in the article. You can read them if you're interested. But for the cheap seats, I will say Pinterest is growing. Capabilities on the platform are growing. And adoption of the features is growing. So therefore, opportunities for advertisers and brands are also growing. So unless you're trying to reach Shep, who prefers to collect her recipes on Google, you should be looking at Pinterest if you're not already on there for your brand. The platform's also rolling out a new program that we will talk about in a few minutes, but all good things from Pinterest, so no evil there.
All right, next up, there is a new Google search update. This is a non-core update. So it isn't like what we saw before, the Picard update, aka the January core update. It is something that came out on the 7th of February. It is, I don't know if it got confirmed. I think it still is technically unconfirmed, but it has been mentioned that it's not a core update. And what Danny Sullivan from Google on his @DannySullivan Twitter account said is, we do updates all the time. I would suggest reading our general advice about this. And he had another tweet saying, some have asked if we had an update to Google search last week. We did. Actually, several updates, just as we have several updates in any given week on a regular basis. And this thread is a reminder of when and why we give specific guidance about particular updates. So there was an update, but from what I've seen with my clients, it was a very substantial update. I saw that Barry Schwartz over on Search Engine Roundtable gathered a bunch of thoughts from the industry. I know BFF of the show @Glenn Gabe saw that there was somebody that reached out to him who had 20,000 people coming to their site today, dropped to 9K. I saw Bitcoin or maybe Blockchain Bros got hit a little bit with
What about
some
CryptoKitty?
Crypto Kitties. I think they're doing Meowvelous. All right.
Wow.
Another thing that every one of the volatility tools that you've seen that track the search engine results pages rankings, they've all shown crazy volatility. So if you want to hop on over to Google Analytics, annotate the 7th of February, even though it's not a core update, there is a lot that we've seen it. And just personally, we've seen a lot in that in the kind of health space. So very specific products that are geared towards a very specific health conditions going up for us. So check it out and see what happens with your accounts.
And I have some good news. If you are running campaigns on Microsoft Advertising, they introduced if functions this week.
See what you did there.
I feel like Jess. And these allow advertisers to customize expanded text ads based on the user's device or audience. So you put everyone's favorite special character, the curly bracket, except for Greg, you like the curly, what What do you call that?
Oh, it's like a tilde, right?
Yeah, that's your favorite special character.
Oh, yeah, I use that on every single one of my signatures.
I like the curly bracket, but
I don't
there's
know
not
why
a lot
I do
of
it. I
opportunity.
just started doing it. I used to work with somebody who was super awesome. She had like the little star, and she said "Star Jean," and I'm like, "This is cool. I wish I could do it."
Jean.
Yeah.
I've never been nearly as cool as her, but I still do that little squiggle, Greg.
Well, this is for curly bracket lovers.
Oh, okay. That's not
AKA
me.
bird face bracket. That's what we used to say in school. Looks like a little bird beak. No?
Oh my God, it does.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, you put it in the ad copy to specify the condition, so either the device the user is using or the audience they're a part of. And then you add the special text for the condition, and then you put the default text that will show if that condition is not met. There are a lot of other special characters involved. I'm not going to go through all the formatting now, but read the show notes if you want to check this out.
I think there's dog foot, elephant tusk, bunch of those,
No,
right?
it's, just some boring colons and stuff. So the example they have here is if the person is on a mobile device, Microsoft would insert free shipping on all mobile orders into the headline. So if you are using these in Google Ads, you can import them into Microsoft with the import tool, which is great. One thing you should be careful about is if you're using the audience, as I talked about last week in my Working Hard or Hardly Working, there's some different audiences. So you have to be careful to make sure it's on both platforms if you're importing it.
All right, finally here, say goodbye to ISP and network service provider data as these dimensions are no longer supported in Google Analytics. If you find yourself scratching your head and saying, huh? Then lucky you, this won't impact you at all. But if you're anything like our resident analytics mastermind, Sarah, here at the office, people who can hear you screaming from miles away.
Didn't she say it was the worst thing to happen in 2020?
She said, yeah. We were going to a client meeting, and she said, "This week has been awful. We lost, we lost the network information." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Sarah, you should just hear me about Google Partners. Just wait, Sarah.
But some people really care about this, and people use it in filters as well as reports. So if you think it's something that you might be using, definitely go in and check your account. But even if you're not, at the very least, just go in and annotate this in Google Analytics because it's going to start showing as not set where there was data before. So take note, folks.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you.
We simply deliver the take for your consumption.
We give absolutely 100% no opinions, and we don't influence your thoughts on this take.
Oh, you make the call.
And this week we've got a takeoff. Once every blue moon, there's a topic so fiery that we bring in multiple takes. And Shep and Jess, you guys are going to decide who's the winner of this week's takeoff. And the topic is Google Partners changes. First take from Rachel at Rachy Panda. Exactly. No way am I going to use target impression share, which is code for spend all my money to get the most impressions regardless of conversions. #PPC chat.
That is a great definition of target impression.
Yes. Props to you, Rachel. Next up, Pamela. I also, in case you couldn't tell from earlier in the show, I got a little heated about this. I made a bunch of memes on Twitter.
Oh my, they're so good.
And so
Everyone
I made
should
the,
look.
what's the name?
The Orange County Chopper guys?
No, the Hate Harry one.
Oh, the guy with the
Hide your
coffee?
hatred, Harry. Yeah, when he looks at the computer, sees the email, gets excited, and sees that Google's trying to just take your client's money and set it on fire. And I made that meme, and Pamela responded at Pamela_Lund said, "I've never been more glad that I've never given a single heck about this program." But she didn't use heck. Just laid it all
She
out
said
there.
Forever United or whatever we were saying before, right?
Yeah. She's a national treasure. All right. Third, Colin Slattery at CJ Slattery on Twitter. Spend more money, or you may or may not have to spend, or we count it against you. That's it. That's the tweet. #PPC chat. And it has a screenshot showing a recommendation that, again, you can no longer dismiss, saying your ads may stop running on your busiest days unless you raise your budget now to avoid missing out on potential customers. So raise your budget 2%, you might not be a partner. And the last tweet was actually a response to that from Brett Dixon at Brett Dixon on Twitter. My clients will love that. Me. Hey, upped your budget. Client, WTF? Me, yeah, need to keep my badge, mate. Client, you're fired. All right, so those were the takes. I think this might be the first takeoff of 2020.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Okay, so we've got Rachie Panda about target impression share being spend all my money to get the most impressions regardless of conversions tweet. We've got Pamela not giving an F about this program. We've got Colin, hey, you gotta spend more money tweet. And he had a bunch more. He was showing all the terrible impressions. Go check him out. He's got a full list of everything. He was just pulling up the most egregious recommendations last night. And I was like, yep, like, meme. All right, and then lastly, it was Brett Dixon, at Brett Dixon, who had the, need to keep my badge, mate tweet. All right, so what do you guys vote for?
Okay, my honorable mention is Pamela, but I just can't vote for it because I used to give a single heck about this and it really kind of made me feel dumb.
Wow, Pamela.
And I'm going to make Colin my winner. Or no, I take it back.
Wow.
Brett, I'm sorry, there's so many to scroll through.
You're like Steve Harvey.
I'm sorry, I meant Brett.
Okay.
Because I like the use of mate. Is he Australian?
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to see which way the toilet water goes down the drain.
That's how you can tell. Greg gets the sports award for the dramatic reading on Brett. But as far as when I read these the first time, what made me laugh the most, I got to go with Pamela.
Okay. I am going to go with, we need to break the tie. This is too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Pamela. I just put a meme out there and she just came back with the fire. The queen of spice, Pamela Lund, at Pamela_Lund on Twitter. We'll actually make an award for this one. We should just start making awards. We got extra awards from our clock scores.
Oh, yeah. We should just throw them in the air and everyone should get one.
Okay. Well, no, only the winners. And that's Pamela.
That's what I meant. Everyone. All the winners.
Thank you all. We appreciate it. This is something you just might not have seen,
Maybe something you overlooked.
but you shouldn't have.
So ICYMI, Pamela Lund.
Hey,
Pamela.
We know her.
just taking the show. Why don't you just grab a seat, Pamela?
At Pamela_Lund. She had another great tweet this week that we don't need to censor.
Can I also just say her percentage of good tweets is gotta be 98%. Awesome.
Yeah.
She tweets maybe like twice a week and they're amazing. Okay, sorry. go
And
ahead.
this one isn't even, she has her sassy ones, and this one's just a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's her tweet. Hashtag PPC chat. Do any of you change the creative that you run at night on GDN to account for people using things like dark night mode, Chrome extension, Jess? I just saw one of my clients' ads and thought it was broken because of how it displays when I have night mode on. Got me thinking, ...
And that's not news, but that's something they easily just might not have seen out
I would
there.
never think of that.
No.
Very clever.
Pretty brilliant. There's a lot of good replies that think through it too for
And she
you.
talked
So read
about
the whole
how
thread.
it looked, like what the problem was, the way it displayed in dark mode. So yeah, and then I think PPC Kirk was talking about scripts you could use and everything like that. So absolutely.
Oh, so they only see it if they're using it or something?
Well, at certain times.
That would be genius.
Yeah.
Now it's time for this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew.
At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
This week's paid lightning round is brought to you by Optio.
Optio makes managing Google Ads accounts simple and efficient. It automates time-consuming manual tasks so you can spend more time on strategic or creative work. Whether you work in an agency with a large number of accounts or you're a freelancer responsible for a smaller portfolio, Optio can save you time and make life that little bit easier. They also have a fantastic recommendations section that if Google was smart, they'd take a look at that because the recommendations actually help your clients. That's what we need. Not Google Ads partner recommendations. Anyway, Shep, how to use Optio.
I am a big fan of the table comparison tool and the performance report. So in Google Ads, you can easily compare 2 time periods and see the percentage change for your KPIs, but this is kind of like that on steroids. So you can pick 2 periods of time and the metrics you want to see, and it shows you the results for both the periods of time and the percentage change. So you can clearly see the differences side by side. And instead of having a plus or minus, it makes something green if it's good and red if it's bad. So you can quickly scan, because sometimes it's good for something to increase where other things it's good for them to decrease. So it's nice that you can quickly scan it and look for the reds and see what's going on.
Yeah. So if you want to bring those steroids, like the cream and the clear, sports award, I'll take it.
I don't know that sports award.
You can get a free 6-week trial of Optio. Optio.com/SEJ. That's OPTEO.com/SEJ. Give your account a little bit of roids. How about that?
And here's what's happening in the paid universe this week. First, I know we were really down on Google earlier, but they did do
Who's down
something
on
good
Google?
this week. I don't know.
Oh.
Some guy. It was the guy. They did do something good this week. Google Ads added change history to their performance chart. So you can hover over date markers in your charts and get more details about changes that you made that may have caused changes in performance. So these look like Google Analytics annotations, but you don't have to import them manually or write them up manually. They're automatically added from your change history, which is awesome.
So are you telling me that if my boss tells me I need my Google Partners badge and I have to turn on search partners, you can then go back, look and see that change and see the drop in performance afterwards?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to say you had to do this to keep your badge, but it will say like you turned on maximize clicks.
Okay.
So I don't have this yet. I'm sad about it, but Mark on our team does, and he says he can see it on his campaign, ad group, and change history tab. So look out for that.
Lucky Mark.
And another lucky person, Stephen Johns.
At this point, it can't be luck. 21 got another one.
He got two other, actually, I think he may have gotten 3. He got 2 in paid this week. Both are reports in the Google Merchant Center. So first, the price competitiveness report. Lots of syllables. This is a new report, and it's currently in beta, and it shows advertisers how their prices compare to other merchants selling the same products in Google Shopping campaigns. If you have the beta, it will be under the growth section in the left side menu in GMC, and you'll have to opt into the Market Insight program in order for it to work. Once you have access to the report, you'll be able to see price competitiveness of your products by category, country, and brand dating back to October 14th, 2019, and it compares your price to the benchmark price and tells you if you're 1% above or 1% below that.
And it's 1% or more, right? Like
Yeah.
1% greater.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you're within 1% either way, it thinks you're good.
Okay.
Advertisers can use this to adjust their bids for products, or if they have competitive pricing, they could make pricing decisions based on this information. So look for that report. The second GMC report he found is the best sellers report, which shows you the most popular brands and products across shopping ads in your category. So Steven's client sells car parts, and the report showed him popular parts from his feed that he isn't already running in shopping ads, which is nice. So he could set up campaigns for those. I didn't know one of the car parts.
I think Steven is outside Google, just getting on their Wi-Fi. You know how you always hear the story? It's like, oh, don't use public Wi-Fi. I feel like he's on public Google Wi-Fi.
Or like infiltrated their Slack.
Oh, that too.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't think they probably are.
Either
Use
that or he's just like up all night. Like, I
No.
mean, he's in the UK, I think, so he can do this while we're sleeping. Next up, we have some really thrilling security news.
You know what, though? I think he still needs to sleep, though, when we're awake.
It's not how
I was waiting for that comment.
It's not how it works.
Oh, okay.
So, before I was rudely interrupted, we have some thrilling, absolutely thrilling security news from Microsoft Advertising.
CCPA?
No.
Oh.
They are introducing a 2-step, not the dance. They're introducing 2-step verification. Woo. So if you haven't already enabled this, you're going to be asked to provide a second form of identification when you log in. Be ready to identify yourself.
Hey, and go do it, too. Your clients
Yeah, why
matter.
wouldn't you?
Go set it up.
So what is happening in organic?
This week's Organic Lightning Round is brought to you by Ahrefs.
Ahrefs makes competitive analysis easy. Their tools show you how your competitors are getting traffic from Google and why. You can see the pages and content that send them the most search traffic. Find out the exact keywords they're ranking for and which backlinks are helping them rank. From there, you can replicate or improve on their strategies. If you're not getting significant search traffic, Ahrefs tools also help to find topics worth creating pages or content on. You can easily see estimated search volumes and gauge traffic potential with their Keyword Explorer tool. If you are getting search traffic, use features like their Top Pages report to break down which of your pages are bringing in the most traffic. then figure out how you can replicate this success. Jess, how do you use Ahrefs?
I'm all about the broken links report. So you can look at a whole site, a subdomain, a subfolder, or even a single page, and the report compiles all the broken external links on that page or folder, subdomain, whatever, etc. And it pulls in not only the link that's broken, but the status code of the page that it's linking to, the referring page, and the anchor text. So it's a really great report just to run periodically on your site to make sure you're not sending users off of your site to a dead page, because that's a bad user experience. So helps you stay on top of your stuff.
That sure is. And they have a 7-day trial for only $7 USD. 7 United States dollars. So head on over to Ahrefs to sign up. That is ahrefs.com to sign up. The best $7 you've ever spent.
Amen. What's going on in organic, Greg?
Well, this first news this week is by way of BFF of the show, Glenn Gabe. SimilarWeb has released its 2020 State of Digital report. Big report. TechCrunch has a lot of different kind of morsels from the report, but 2019's total web traffic of the top 100 sites was up 8% from 2018 and up 11.8% over 2017, averaging 223 billion visits per month. However, the report found that news sites lost traffic. Weird. Weird that people aren't going to traditional news sites anymore. The top 100 media publications are actually down 5.3% year over year from 2018 to 2019. It's basically a loss of 4 billion visits, and it's down 7% since 2017. So overall, things are looking good, except for publishers. Sorry, guys. Maybe it's all those paywalls you keep putting in front of everybody.
Hate those.
I just added that. That wasn't part of the report. But next up is actual information from Google on how you can improve your local ranking. Most of it is pretty common sense, right? Like put in images, make sure your location is proper, make sure your name is actually your name. But one of the things that I thought was interesting that I hadn't seen them specifically say before was about managing and responding to reviews. They recommend you engage with your customers by replying to their reviews. Responding will show that you value your customers' feedback. Engagement and positive reviews from your customers may improve your business visibility and increase the likelihood that a potential customer will visit your location. Then they say you can also encourage customers and make it easier for them to leave reviews by creating a link. So they said this. I know there's a lot of things you can't do specifically. You can't say, hey, Shep, I'm going to give you free pizza with 5 stars, but you can give a link, and links, and obviously reviews matter. So next up is another local-based topic, and Google posts. Many Google posts have been rejected because of non-compliance with image guidelines. And so Google is appearing that they're trying to increase not the quality of the posts, but the quality of the images in the posts. We've talked about this before, maybe late 2019, about some of the gallery ads we were using with Google Ads. Very, very, very restrictive guidelines on what images you can use. Same with posts. Little did some people know. So Colin Nielsen of Sterling Sky said in an email, from what I can gather, it seems that Google is tightening up the desire to have better quality images in posts, mainly not wanting users to use stock photos. So that person you've seen with that little sport coat that you're trying to use in your Google post might
Love
not
him.
work.
Okay.
Him or her. We saw one today. Like
It's not a sport coat on a lady. It's a
I saw-
blazer.
Blazer, yeah.
Oh, blazer. Okay. I'm wrong on that. I don't know the name of things. People don't come to this show for fashion. I mean, at least not for me. I've never won a fashion award. I win the sports award.
Right.
Shep wins a fashion award. Look at that headband.
Shep
It's
is
beautiful.
fashion.
She is fashion.
Don't talk about it. People will go to the YouTube, and I don't want them to see it.
Oh, do you mean the Search Engine Journal YouTube channel? Come see us live. All right. Next up from that article, actually, I'm going to stick there for 1 second. Mike Blumenthal of Allegheny, Western New York, shout out, of GatherUp, pointed out the challenges of complying with these guidelines in which some instances appear confusing. For example, he said superimposed text or graphics, including promotional content such as logos, are subject to the following requirements. Goes on and on and on and on and on. Ends it by saying, these and other elements of the guidelines are as clear as mud instructions.
That's not very clear.
Shots fired
No.
from Mike. Okay. Next up, new news out of Bing and PubCon. Out in PubCon, Austin, Florida? I don't know which one it was.
Not Buffalo.
Definitely not Buffalo. You would have been there. Nanu Reagan of Microsoft had an announcement on stage at PubCon that the Bing Webmaster Tools team is working on a sitemap diagnosis tool. That's awesome. And I think Perna Virgie had released that, but I love any innovation over there. So you'll be able to find out any problems with your sitemap coming soon. And next up, the review snippet enhancement report is making its way to Search Console. So you soon will be able to see errors, warning, and valid pages for reviews or your ratings markup that are implemented on your site. It's nice. It's a graphical element, kind of just like everything else in Search Console, but there'll be, yes, the ability to see how the ratings markup is performing on Google Search and on Discover. Danny Sullivan, using his @DannySullivan and @Search Liaison handles, is coming to SMX. I don't know which one he is.
He's packing both his
Of
his
them.
handles.
So if you wanted to hear from my favorite, Danny is the absolute best. He's the best speaker. He's entertaining. You could listen to him like as a stand-up. He's just got that knack, and he's coming back. He started SMX. It's kind of like a big moment in search. So we have to report on it. Danny is the absolute best. And he is coming back not as an SMXer, but as Google. And he's coming back to SMX Advanced. And it's the first time that he's going to be on stage since October 2017. So if you're looking to hear from Google themselves, honestly, Danny's just the best. So don't miss that at SMX Advanced this year. And that's it for organic. Jess, what's going on in social?
All right, a lot's going on. First up, Yelp launches showcase ads and store visit attribution. Store visits obviously are going to help businesses determine the value of their ads based on driving physical traffic to their locations. That's nice. But the showcase ad format is pretty cool. Yelp calls it video centric, but if you look at the examples they provided, you can also use still images and make kind of a slideshow. And Yelp is touting that these worked really well for Denny's in an early test. And Denny's and Yelp.
Hey, look at my moons over my hammy gallery. Here's the moon. Here's the hammy.
I mean, are Yelpers checking out Denny's on Yelp? I guess maybe that's why it works.
Isn't it Denny's at Denny's?
That's what
exactly.
I was saying. Like, maybe I'm not that highfalutin, but I think it's going to be pretty similar to the
Actually,
other
I think I went there on Valentine's Day once.
Oh,
You
how
would.
topical.
What did you order? What's your go-to Denny's order, Shep?
What do they call it? You get like pancakes, home fries, and toast, and they call it like one thing.
Oh, the Grand Slam.
Yeah, well,
right?
I substituted the
Are you coming after my sports award?
Sports breakfast.
It's called the Slam Dunk, and I no, it's the Grand Slam. I substituted the bacon for more toast, and they just brought me like a whole loaf of bread.
I didn't know you could get more toast. I feel like most people leave the toast behind. Only Shep wants more toast. You should leave them a Yelp review. That's
Okay.
great service.
They love that.
Look at that. I want breakfast for dinner. All right, back to the news. Monetization is coming to IGTV. The platform confirmed this week that they're testing a program that lets creators make money off their IGTV videos, which is what monetization is. So creators keep an eye out for details on eligibility, and advertisers be looking out for additional ad inventory in the coming months. And we alluded to this earlier in the show, but Pinterest is launching what they call a verified merchant program. According to Pinterest, pinners will see VMP, verified merchant program, check marks next to all merchants in the program so they know they're browsing and shopping from a brand that meets our guidelines. It's always nice to have a little badge of honor to help you with a sale.
Too soon.
Anyway, this is initially just going to be for fashion and home decor, but there's a wait list. You can sign up. We have the link in the show notes if you are interested. Next up, Hope, are you back on TikTok yet?
No.
Okay. Well, for anyone that's still on the platform, you'll be happy to know you can now upload video from the desktop version of the app.
That is what I was waiting
What
for.
TikToker is using a desktop?
I was like, look, the phone is great, but I just love the desktop editing. I take it, I put my webcam on, do my little dance,
No.
do the shuffle,
They're more likely to do it on like their Apple Watch than a
two-step
desktop.
authentication.
I don't think
why
that's
this
a
is
thing.
Worse, it's because they put it on desktop, so now you're gonna get more people creating legit videos on like professional cameras.
Which is not
That
what
sounds
TikTok
better.
is for.
That sounds
Why?
better.
No.
Old curmudgeon Finn. Sounds better.
You're not supposed to try hard on this platform.
You don't need less dancing. Okay, what's next?
All right, next, Snapchat is testing a major redesign to simplify in-app navigation. Cool. They are also launching a new series of tools and custom intent around mental health and wellness, which is really nice. The first one is called Here For You, and it surfaces resources catered to searches like anxiety within the app. We talked a few weeks ago about how Gen Z wants brands to care about them, and I feel like Snap is listening. It's a pretty smart move. It's nice to care about people's well-being. So I give him credit for that.
It's also nice for somebody not trying to shake every last shekel out of somebody for any ad revenue. Like, okay, you're looking for anxiety. Here's some actual good things. We talked about this last year with Pinterest, where they just turn things off. It's like, all right, maybe you also just direct people the right way. This is a nice step.
It is.
like
And
this.
Greg, if you're stressed out, then Snap's got your back. They're here for you.
Retweet.
Bad news for brands with crappy Instagram content. Users can now sort the list of accounts they follow by how often they interact with them, among other ways that you can sort. So
Jess,
that's
are you
something.
worried?
Am I worried?
Yes.
I don't.
She has a high
think I
interaction
need to
rate.
be. Well, I post a lot of baby pictures, so.
Well, before then, let's
And
just
your
say
bad food
your
pictures?
account
Oh,
was
yeah.
questionable.
Questionable in a good way.
No,
People
but-
love my
But she got like just as many comments as she did likes. You know,
but
if you're looking at the ratio,
It was the bad. She got ratioed in the bad way. People were just like, huh? What is this?
Have you ever
nice French toast sticks or something.
have you seen my first Instagram post ever?
Let me guess. It was French toast sticks on the ground with hair stuck to it. And then you said something, and there might have been like a used Skittle next to it.
Almost. It was just a little square plate, and it had two like soy dogs on it, which aren't even round, and they were just like on the plate. And I don't remember what my caption was, but that was my first Instagram post ever. So no one's unfollowing me based on this feature, so that's good. All right. Next up, Facebook will pay Reuters to fact check deepfakes and more. Whatever. It's a 4-person team from Reuters that's going to review stuff on Facebook, basically, and provide recommendations that Facebook will then use to label them as misinformation. And they're going to be publishing these findings to a blog, so you can read that.
Can you imagine you go home on Thanksgiving and you're like, oh, Grandpa George, you know what I'm doing? I'm reviewing deepfakes. I've been able to get to 400 deepfakes a day. I'm the deepfake leader. I'm just unfaking the deepfakes. What a time to be alive.
Until I read your notes, I thought it was Reuters like steroids because we were talking about that earlier.
The cream or the clear?
Reuters is like a big
still don't know what
organization.
that
Yeah,
means.
what is that? Is that like
cream must be you rub it on.
Yeah.
It's a Barry Bonds thing.
Who's that?
Belko?
He's the guy.
You wouldn't know.
Is he one of them Kansas Falcons or whatever?
Is he going to be in the Hall of Fame or did he ruin it?
Maybe.
Is he already?
Nobody. He's not yet. Who knows?
Just wondering.
If they allow asterisks, maybe.
Okay.
What are you guys talking about?
Baseball.
Perfect. Home run. Grand slam, right? That's a baseball thing. Back to Denny's, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Shep. Okay. Whatever. Let's talk about Facebook. Again, they have acquired Scape Technologies, which is an AR startup with mapping infrastructure that was apparently at least partially inspired by Pokemon Go, if you guys remember that wild time.
God.
Didn't you do Pokemon Go?
I did not. My husband did, though. So I
Is
had
he
to
still doing it?
No.
I did it a
He was
little
like
bit.
really into Pokemon.
He was
Go,
really
right?
into it. His friends would get together and be like, did you go to the gym or whatever? But not like the gym, like the Pokemon gym and whatever. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I still see people like standing outside.
Yeah, I,
think
know
there's,
people who
like,
play.
Catch them all.
But I think there's a Harry Potter version of the game too.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's all sorts of apps. Whatever. That really has nothing to do with this other than it sort of inspired them. But I guess this company, Scape, has created 3D renderings of more than 100 cities globally in the world. So no one knows really what Facebook's plans are yet, but I bet people are
Bet they
pretty
didn't
terrified.
do Buffalo.
Probably
Wow.
not.
You know what is really cool about all this? I've like a step ahead of them on this. You think I'd be a step behind? I've been in the physical world.
You have?
Here for now 38 years. I know, it's
Unless
You just
this is a
announced your age
simulation.
on the podcast.
Also, yeah. Now everyone knows.
Oh no. What am I
that.
gonna know?
Oh, anyway, this is, you want to talk about age. This is something
No,
none
I
of us
don't.
are going to understand. YouTube is testing. You're going to love this, Greg, so much. YouTube is testing another monetization feature for creators that allows viewers to clap for them. And the
God, is this an acronym?
no, it's the clapping. They call it viewer applause, and it costs $2 to do, and only the purchaser can see it. Which,
So hold on.
yes,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
You have a YouTube video and somebody wants to clap. You could either say, hey, nice job. You could leave a comment. You could like it, or you could clap. And if you clap, nobody sees the comment, nobody sees the like, but the clap is clapped over to the creator.
Yes, for $2.
I love this.
No, it's stupid. I think, first of all, if you let other people see that you're clapping, more people are going to want to join in the round of applause. It's
Do
going to
we get
generate
the
more
whole
money.
$2?
My guess is no.
Wait, why aren't people clapping right now to us?
I don't.
That also a
That's what I
valid
was
point.
wondering.
Well, because it is a limited test. But I assume that when it's wide, we will get lots and lots of applause.
I cannot wrap my head around these digital things like this, where you're paying money for nothing. Nothing. You're paying money to clap to somebody who's not even going to look at your stupid clap.
I know.
You're paying $2.
I know.
Take the $2, invest it. It'll double in like 7 years. Another
can
7 years.
buy-
Find a fiduciary. You'll be all set.
You can get a Diet
Retire.
Coke at McDonald's any size for $1.08.
Look at that. 92. You got 92
That's
cents
half
left.
a clap.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you get the super size?
I don't know, but what I want to know is, like, this is obviously something that they feel like they need to control, because according to the product notes, you can spend up to $500 a day or $2,000 a week.
Man, I
And
guarantee.
there's a
Why
lot
are
of
they
kids
counting
I
on
bet there's a bunch of
YouTube.
kids
Yeah.
just clapping away.
lot
like
of
Bert
kids.
and Ernie just clapping.
But they don't know, or you know
Like,
what?
hey, clap.
Maybe-
There's $2,000. Here you go. Hey, SpongeBob, clap. Clap.
I don't know. Maybe it's genius that you can't see the clap, because they're going to think it's not working, and they're just going to keep hitting that button and sending $2. Next up, Instagram. $1 per dollar. Instagram is testing a new trimming tool for Instagram stories clips. This is right in creation mode, so thank you. It's just a test right now, but when it is live, we will all rejoice. And until then, LinkedIn users have something to celebrate. There's a new profile design on the platform that was spotted this week. Stephen Johns,
21 got another one.
yeah, well, I was going to ask. He shared this, but it wasn't his profile. So technically, does he get credit for this one?
He gets credit for everything.
Okay.
How dare you besmirch his name?
I don't besmirch. Anyway, he shared it with us all, so credit to him. Anyway, the new profile design has a featured section, so you can highlight top achievements. It's pretty cool. You can check the link in the show notes for a screenshot of what this looks like. It's great. It's something out there. Yay. Thanks, LinkedIn.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
Shep, what's been happening with your accounts lately?
I have a really simple one, but Cole on our team always has these awesome screenshots, and he has like great like arrows and stuff on them. I'm just, kind of slow to adapt or adopt. Yeah, I'm not
Both,
an early
yeah.
adopter.
Yeah.
A lot.
Early adapter.
So I thought he was doing it in like Photoshop, but it turns out there's this awesome tool called Awesome Screenshot. And now I've just been drawing all over my screenshots all week. And it's really fun. You put arrows on them and you can copy them right there and just send them to your clients. I love it.
Is that where WTH came from in that one screenshot about
I wrote WTH on the Google announcement.
That's amazing. To be fair, Shep, I didn't know about it either. I'm with you.
Yeah, I gave it to Jess too. Okay, what about you?
All right. So one of our clients has a ad group in one of their search campaigns that's been just plagued by keywords that are being limited due to low quality.
Did you do every recommendation Google gave you?
Google? No, I gave a recommendation. I said, let's test a different landing page. And the client has been hesitant to do that, even though there's been poor performance. So they're sort of stuck on this landing page that they're using because they really, really love it, even though it's not serving them well. So we finally got them just to approve a test. We fired up an experiment in Google Ads with an alternate landing page. Not only did quality scores improve, the ads are being served more often and clicks are significantly cheaper. Needless to say, the client is happy and you're all probably looking at me like, duh, right? But my point is, like, we're saying duh, but that's because we're preaching to the choir. Clients are not the choir. And sometimes a recommendation isn't good enough. You need data to back up your recommendation. So experiments are a good way to do that. Greg, what about you?
All right. For me, I was looking at a client and we were just trying to do a quick breakdown and see how the Picard, aka January 2020 core update was. And I actually saw some movement, not during anything, but after the February 7th update-ish. That's not an update or the everyday update. And I just was thinking in general, how important it is. Whether you use Ahrefs or whether you use something else, we use multiple tools for everything just because it's a safe way to go about things. And we saw that there was a huge improvement for one client that happened, and we're able to see it and able to track keywords ahead of time. I, for one, hate the fact when people tell you, oh, we need to get a higher ranking. No, you need more business. You need more customers. That's just a one step in the equation. But I just really appreciated the fact that I could see exactly when this happened, knowing that there was an update in January, knowing that something else might have happened in February. I could see after February 7th, there was crazy spike in traffic and rankings for a certain client. So just a heads up, track your rankings, even if you don't report on them. It's helpful.
Now it's time for this week's WTH,
Misguided.
I'm like, who does that?
Just get rid of it. I'm over it.
where we rant, rave, and roll our eyes about a trending digital marketing topic.
What are we coming to?
Honestly.
See what had us asking
WH.
this week.
Have you guys heard about the new Warner Brothers movie, Birds of Prey, and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn?
I mean, yes.
Yes. I've got lots of thoughts, but
Okay.
let's hear
You
the news.
may not, because they have changed the name to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. A lot of people are saying they're doing this for SEO. A Warner Brothers representative told The Verge that the name change is part of a, quote, search expansion for ticket sites. So people are chiming in and saying nobody knew the movie was about Harley Quinn when they were searching it. They didn't know what it was called, so they changed the name for SEO and they moved Harley Quinn to the beginning of the name. But then they also talk about like the movie marquee in the article too, and that they, wanted Harley Quinn there. So it's a little silly.
There was a half dozen articles saying it was for search only. It was for an SEO move only.
No.
When does
It wasn't.
Hollywood
No.
ever?
They wanted Harley Quinn on the movie marquee, but even there, like, if somebody doesn't know it's about Harley Quinn already, why do they care that it's about Harley Quinn when they see it on the marquee? And I don't know if you saw the preview, but it looks really dumb. I heard it was good, but the preview's terrible.
No, the preview's annoying the heck out of me.
So the film only generated $33 million domestically, coming up short against investors' $50 to $55 million projection, even though, as I said, it was reviewed pretty well.
This is the problem of a bad name for a movie.
Yeah.
The name of your movie is Birds of Prey? And honestly, I had no idea that there was an extended name of it called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Never seen that in my life. Seen a bunch of the Birds of Prey signs. It's got that scratchy writing. It says Birds of Prey. The problem is your main superhero is Harley Quinn. You don't see something where it's like Spider-Man Chronicles or whatever the name of it is. And it's just like the Chronicles.
Yeah. They were
guy
saying
in
this
the
happened
web.
to like a X-Men movie too recently. I don't know. I don't care. Then there was this great tweet from Eileen Clancy at Clancy, New York. And she said, professional searcher of bird-related things notes effect that major motion picture has on Google search. And it's a retweet. Hannah Waters said, Harley Quinn is absolutely tanking SEO for real Birds of Prey. If I were an eagle, I would be pissed. And that's at Hannah with 2 H's, J Waters. So that was my favorite part of the story.
Danny Sullivan got dragged into this because people were complaining that Birds of Prey results didn't show legit, like
They'll come
actual
back in a
literal
couple
Birds
weeks
of Prey.
when the movie's out of theaters. Like, relax.
Yes. But also name your movie better.
Yeah.
Harley
Yeah.
Quinn, Birds of Prey would have been fine the first time. It's not an SEO thing. It's you naming your movie wrong.
Make a better preview. Margot Robbie is a wonderful actress. She had a major Oscar and award show season, and she just looks like a joke in the preview. And I heard it was actually good.
She's got fabulous teeth. I said to Hope earlier that she should be in a toothpaste ad.
I said the same
SEO
thing. I was telling
that.
the same thing to my kids yesterday. So yeah. You should see Margot. Wasn't it
Margot Robbie.
Margot, yeah. It's the teeth. Just brush them. Just like her. It's going to be great.
I brush my teeth in the shower. It makes you brush longer.
I made my kid brush her teeth twice today. Yeah, it wasn't that.
You're a psycho.
Margot Robbie.
Marco?
I don't know. Rubio? Who knows? All right, next up, it's our Petri dish. It's our segment of segments where we put out some things, just let them fester. First up, we've got bad for business. Or maybe good for business. I'll let you decide. The FTC is to examine every acquisition by Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft in 2010 to 2019 over antitrust issues.
How could that be good for business?
Bad for business for them. Good for business for us,
For everybody else.
folks that
Oh, that
aren't
don't
going to have
want
to
the
be
badge.
subjected to partner problems. Okay, we're bringing back another one from last week. People loved it. Good sheet.
This is a better sheet.
What? This is a great sheet.
Last week's sheet was
It
terrible.
was SheetsCon.
Con, aren't you going?
I'm gonna go to SheetsCon, and you're gonna be jealous. Anyway, this week's good sheet is a list of women in technical SEO, a list of freelancers and consultants, a full list. So we had talked about, I think it was actually last week, where Shelley Fagan on the Search Engine Journal show was talking about how the community is really supportive. Just a nice sheet out there if you want to go support some fabulous women in technical SEO. And last up, we've got a new segment here called Sign Me Up. Sign Me Up. And the article is called This App Automatically Cancels and Sues Robocallers.
How would that work?
I just want it. I want it now. I want it to be like, hit the app, cancel it. I don't get the calls anymore. And you're sued. That's what I just want. I want to be like the sued app.
You have to pay to sue someone.
How did we not get to this point where you could just have an app that sues people? It's genius.
This is like-
Sign me up.
What are the class action lawsuits or whatever? They're just getting people on board, right?
Right, but it's an app. You call me, I sue you. Easy.
I love it.
Done. Sign me up.
And now for this week's.
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And is really, really cool.
This week's cool tool is the BuzzSumo YouTube Analyzer. It's brand spanking new, and it's built to help you discover content opportunities, check out competitors, find collaborators, analyze existing videos, and so much more. So if you're in video, head on over to the blog at buzzsumo.com to dive deeper into everything this tool can do. Again, it's called YouTube Analyzer. It is paid, but there's a free trial, so check it out.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
All right, this week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from Dan Barker, at Dan Barker on Twitter. And Dan got himself into something I didn't think he thought would get so popular. But what he said is 1 like on this tweet equals 1 e-commerce tip. I expect this will be quite niche for some followers, but hopefully interesting or useful. Anyway, do feel free to retweet this or any of the tips if so. Depending on the number of likes, it might take a while.
Famous last words.
Dan got 1,200
Oh my God.
likes.
Are they all good? Have you read any of them?
I've read a bunch of them. Oh, there's a lot of good nuggets in there. A lot of optimization with an S in there. When I checked yesterday, there were about 143 tips in there. But he's got actual follow-up to the tips. They're not just junk garbage tips. It's something worth checking out. At least favoriting this tweet thread. Dan really knocked it out of the park here. And he got a lot of support from it too. So if you're in e-commerce and you want just a couple tips to bounce around, it's not really an article. It's a tweet thread. But it is long. At least 143 tweets the last time I checked. Thank you, Dan.
All right, that does it for today's show.
Thank you to our amazing sponsors, Ahrefs and Optio this week for sponsoring the show.
And if you're looking for another great podcast, don't miss this week's episode of the Search Engine Journal Show. This
week, Brent had on Peter Leshaw, and he had the changing landscape of the Google SERPs. I listened to it. If you guys like acronyms, you will love this show. He talks EAT, BERT, everything that you need to know about the search results pages and how things are changing. So if you want to, if that's up your alley, check it out. Peter is very technical. It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from this show on marketingoclock.com.
While you're there, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.